What if starting today, no force, no person, and no situation held the power to hijack your emotions ever again? Imagine a life where insults lose their sting, rejection can't shake you, and betrayal no longer has the privilege of disturbing your inner world. Think about it carefully. How many times have you surrendered your peace because of someone else's careless words? How often have you replayed a single moment on loop, wishing you could rewind it and respond with strength instead of emotion? We all know that feeling. We've all carried the heavy drag of emotions that weaken us and expose us to the control of others. But here's the harsh truth. That vulnerability dies the moment you decide it dies. This isn't about becoming cold, numb, or empty. It's about becoming unbreakable. Machiavelli understood that the deepest form of power begins with mastering yourself before anyone else. When your emotions belong to you alone, no one can provoke you, manipulate you, or pull you into their game. No one can make you react on command, and no one can strip away the strength you build within. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 8 ruthless principles that will train you to build an internal fortress no one can breach. You'll learn how to stop reacting, how to think with precision instead of chaos, and how to move in a way that makes you untouchable to anyone trying to influence you. But before that, I want you to make a declaration right now. Type this in the comments and claim your dominance over yourself. I'm stronger than any emotion. Say it with intent. Own it, because the second you speak it, you've already stepped onto the path of becoming impossible to control. Number 1, eliminate emotional weakness at the root. Let's be brutally honest for a second. Most people don't suffer because of lack of money, status, or luck. They suffer because their emotions run their lives. They crumble at the slightest insult. They drown in sadness at the smallest inconvenience. They erupt in anger over nothing. And every time they do, they hand their power to someone else like a gift. Think about it. When someone mocks you and you instantly explode, who is in control? Not you. They just manipulated you with a few words. When someone ignores you and you spiral into feeling worthless, who's controlling the emotional strings? Again, not you. They are. This is emotional vulnerability, the weakness of letting others own your reactions. And here's the cruel reality. People will exploit it the moment they sense it. They will push your buttons. They will study your triggers. And the moment you react, you've already surrendered. Machiavelli understood this long before any of us. He said, "He who wishes to command must first learn to govern himself." How can you expect authority over others when you can't even discipline your own impulses? The first step toward real freedom is the mastery of your responses. That means training yourself to pause, to think, to control the urge to react. When someone disrespects you, don't give them the pleasure of watching. You lose composure. When life throws problems at you, don't collapse and cry about injustice. Stand unmoved. This isn't about killing your emotions. Emotions are human, but you must rule them like a ruler commands a kingdom. Firmly, steadily, without hesitation. Your emotions are like fire. Controlled, they create warmth, clarity, and strength. Uncontrolled, they burn everything you've built to the ground. Start with small habits. The next time someone says something irritating, refuse the instant reaction. Breathe. Stay silent. Make them wonder what you're thinking. That uncertainty is a weapon. The calmer you are, the more dangerous you appear. Because here's the truth people never admit. The world respects emotional control. People follow those who stay composed in the middle of chaos. And the one who cannot be emotionally disturbed becomes untouchable. So today, give yourself a command. Never give your emotional power to anyone again. No one deserves that access but you. Say this now. I own my emotions. They do not own me. Write it, repeat it. Because once you destroy emotional vulnerability, let it sink into your identity. You stop being controlled, and you start becoming unstoppable. Number 2, adopt the mind of Machiavelli. Strategy above sentiment. Most people spend their lives reacting like puppets tugged by every emotional pull. Someone disrespects them and they burn with anger. Someone flatters them and they feel invincible. Someone overlooks them and suddenly they shrink into insecurity. This constant emotional pendulum is what keeps people soft, predictable, and easy to influence. But here's the truth. If you want to dominate in life, you can't live as a reactor. You must think like a strategist. A strategist doesn't move because he feels something. He moves because he has calculated the outcome. This is exactly how Machiavelli viewed the world. He wrote, "The wise act immediately, the foolish act eventually." What does that tell you? It means the wise see the board clearly and make the intelligent move without hesitation. The fool, blinded by emotion, wastes time, reacting, complaining, or chasing temporary sensations. Look at your own life. How many mistakes did you make because you acted out of anger, jealousy, fear, or desperation? Maybe you sent that rage-filled message you instantly regretted. Maybe you quit something important because discouragement clouded your thinking. Maybe you trusted someone because the moment felt good, only to be stabbed in the back later. That is the price of emotional decision-making. But when you think like Machiavelli, you stop asking, "How do I feel?" You start asking, "What's the strategic advantage here?" Let me give you an example. Imagine someone embarrasses you in front of others. If you explode, you look unstable and easy to provoke. If you stay composed and dismiss it, effortlessly you seize the upper hand. Why? Because control is power, and everyone sees it. That is strategy over emotion. Another example, relationships. People allow emotions to blind them. They ignore warning signs because the feelings feel good. But the strategist watches patterns, motives, and actions. He knows words are cheap, but behavior never lies. To operate this way, you must train your mind to step back. Whenever a strong emotion rises, pause. Ask yourself, if I react now, who gains? If I think first, what advantage becomes mine? That small pause separates the manipulated from the mastermind. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you powerful. Because while everyone else is drowning in their emotional storms, you're observing the entire battlefield. You're steps ahead, calm, precise, untouchable. Always remember this. Strategy will take you farther than emotion ever will. Say this now. I see the game clearly, and I play it with intelligence. Type it, claim it, because when you choose strategy over emotion, you stop being a pawn, and you become the player who commands the entire board. Number 3, create mental independence. Break free from the need for approval. One of the most dangerous addictions in life is the hunger for validation. Most people don't even notice how deeply they rely on it. They post something online, and their entire mood rises or falls based on likes and comments. They wear something new and wait, desperately for someone to compliment them before they feel confident. They make choices, yet in the back of their mind they whisper, "What will people say about me?" This isn't freedom. This is psychological servitude. Because the moment your self-worth depends on another person's reaction, you've surrendered control of your mind. Machiavelli saw this clearly. He wrote, "Men judge more by appearances than by reality," meaning people judge what they see, not who you truly are. If you live according to their opinions, you'll spend your life chasing illusions instead of building real inner power. Think about it. People's opinions shift constantly. Today they praise you, tomorrow they tear you down. Today you're admired, tomorrow you're criticized. If your identity rises and falls with these unstable opinions, you'll never be grounded. You'll always be ruled by forces outside yourself. So what's the way out? Develop mental autonomy. Autonomy means self-governance. It means your worth doesn't depend on noise outside. It's generated from within. When you detach from external validation, you become steady, immovable, and mentally free. Here's how the transformation begins. First, pay attention whenever you crave approval. Ask yourself, if no one applauded this, would I still be proud? If the answer is no, then you're not living for yourself. You're performing for spectators. Second, give yourself the recognition you usually seek from the world. Instead of waiting to be praised, tell yourself, I did good. I'm proud of my work. It'll feel unusual at first, but this is how you retrain your mind to stop depending on others for validation. Third, understand this truth. The people you're trying to impress are usually too consumed with their own problems to think about you. They don't analyze you as much as you think they do, so why hand them so much control over your emotions? When you no longer crave external approval, you become powerful in a way most people will never experience. No one can manipulate you with compliments, and no one can break you with criticism. You stand rooted in your own identity, steady, confident, and untouchable. Say this now: my worth comes from within, solid and unshakable. Write it, repeat it, own it. Because once you master this truth, nothing outside of you will ever dictate your value again. Number 4, remove the personal flaws that drain your power. It's rarely the dramatic mistakes that weaken you. More often, it's the tiny daily behaviors you think are harmless, over-explaining, oversharing, or displaying emotions where they don't belong. But here's the truth you can't ignore. Every time you engage in these habits, you give away a fragment of your power. Think about it. When someone questions you, and you immediately scramble to justify yourself, repeating explanations they never asked for, what image do you create? You appear insecure, guilty, or desperate for their approval. A powerful person doesn't plead with explanations. A powerful person states their point once with calm certainty and moves forward. Now consider oversharing. Most people believe openness earns respect. But in reality, revealing too much, your fears, your secrets, your private struggles, arms others with information they can use against you. Some will manipulate you with it. Some will judge you for it. Some will lose respect for you because of it. Machiavelli summarized this dark truth perfectly. It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. Meaning this, people take delight in exploiting weaknesses, especially the ones you foolishly hand to them. When you bear too much of yourself, you invite deception, violation, and betrayal. Let's be honest, most people do not deserve access to your inner world. Only a very small circle, those who have earned your absolute trust, should get close. Everyone else should only see what you intentionally reveal. Control the image. Guard your mind like a fortress. So how do you eliminate these silent weaknesses? First, speak less. Not every silence needs to be filled with explanations. Let your words carry weight by choosing them with purpose. Second, seal your emotional leaks. You don't need to broadcast your anger, sadness, or frustrations. Learn to process your emotions privately instead of throwing them out for others to dissect. Third, impose boundaries on yourself. Before you speak, ask, does this strengthen me or does this expose me? If it exposes you, stay silent. Once you master this, everything changes. People can no longer read you. They cannot predict your next move. They cannot pull your emotional strings. And they cannot use your own words as weapons against you. You become unreadable, composed, and untouchable. Now write this in the comments. I guard my power like a fortress. Make it your mantra, because power is not only found in what you reveal, it is found in what you refuse to give away. Number 5, turn silence and composure into weapons. Silence is not surrender. Calm is not softness. In truth, silence and calm are two of the most devastating tools of power you will ever possess. Most people never discover this because they are addicted to reacting. They feel compelled to answer every insult, defend every accusation, and fill every moment of quiet with words. But understand this, the one who controls their silence controls the entire environment. Think back to the last time someone tried to provoke you. Maybe they yelled, insulted you, or tried to bait you into an argument. If you exploded, you fed them exactly what they wanted, your energy. But if you stayed composed, held your gaze steady, and said nothing, the whole dynamic shifted. They wanted chaos. They expected rage. Instead, they were met with cold stillness. That stillness unsettles people, and their discomfort reveals their weakness. Machiavelli understood this balance when he wrote that the lion cannot escape traps and the fox cannot fight off wolves. The lesson is simple. Real power is knowing when to roar and when to wait in the shadows. Silence is a tactic. Calm is a command. Silence gives you three advantages. First, it shields you. You reveal neither emotion nor intention. Second, it destabilizes others. They expect reaction, and when you offer none, they lose their footing. Third, it earns respect. Those who remain collected under pressure appear far stronger than those who crack. When you master silence, people think twice before provoking you. When you master calm, you show the world that nothing can shake your center. In a world drowning in noise, the quiet one becomes the most dominant presence in the room. But silence is not passivity. It is choosing your moment with precision. It is watching, analyzing, and waiting until your words, or your move, will have maximum impact. That is true control. So when someone tries to drag you into their chaos, remember, your silence is not weakness, it is armor. Your calm is not emptiness, it is power, and the one who remains composed, while others unravel, is the one who ultimately prevails. Say this now: my silence is my shield. Write it, carry it, live it. Because once you understand the force behind silence and calm, no one will ever be able to provoke you easily again. Number 6, learn to see the person underneath the mask. Most people present an image, not their truth. They speak kindly when it serves them, smile when they want something, and act loyal only as long as it benefits their agenda. Behind every friendly gesture, there is often intention. Behind every promise, there is often calculation. If you want to become untouchable, stop believing what people say and start studying what they consistently do. Machiavelli captured it perfectly when he wrote, "Everyone notices what you seem to be. Only a few understand what you truly are." Human beings are architects of illusion. They craft personas to impress, manipulate, or disguise weakness. But the perceptive mind looks beneath the presentation. It watches actions, patterns, and habits, not empty words. Think about it. Someone may tell you, "You can always count on me," yet vanish the moment you actually need support. A coworker may flatter you to your face, but quietly undermine you the moment an opportunity appears. Their reality is not in their language. It is in their behavior. Your power comes from observation. Do not rush to trust because someone speaks beautifully. Watch how they behave over time. Watch how they treat people they don't need. Watch how they act when there is nothing for them to gain. Notice whether their promises align with their actions. This is how you recognize someone's true nature. Masks are everywhere. On social media, people display polished lives while hiding their chaos. At work, people offer fake praise, fake smiles, and fake loyalty. Even in close relationships, people wear masks when they crave attention, control, or advantage. But once you train your eyes to pierce through the surface, deception loses its effect on you. The power of seeing people clearly is freedom. You stop falling for false affection. You stop being surprised by betrayal. You stop relying on illusions. Instead, you deal with truth. And truth, no matter how harsh, is safer than any comforting lie. So how do you sharpen this skill? Listen less, observe more. Analyze patterns, not promises. Understand that consistency is the blueprint of character. Once you recognize the truth, manipulation becomes impossible. And when you stop believing in masks, no one can use one to control you again. Repeat this with me. I see beyond the mask to the truth. Write it, absorb it, and carry it. Because once you learn to read people at their core, your power becomes untouchable, and no disguise can fool your vision. Number 7. Trust is a comforting idea, but in the wrong hands, it becomes a blade aimed at you. People love to say, "Just trust me," but those words are often crafted to soften your defenses. When you trust without caution, you surrender your strength. You place your emotions, your secrets, and your direction in someone else's grip. Machiavelli exposed this truth when he said that promises serve the past, and breaking them serves the present. People shift the moment their interests shift. The real danger isn't just trusting others, it's becoming emotionally tied to them. When your happiness, confidence, or clarity depends on someone else, you hand them command over your inner world. They can raise your spirits with a simple word or crush them with cold silence. Without noticing, you become a puppet on invisible strings. In the arena of power, emotional dependence is fatal. Think of it this way: the person you rely on becomes the one who controls the game. If you can't detach from someone without falling apart, the power is not yours, it's theirs. This is why betrayal cuts so deeply. It's not only the act itself, it's the authority you unknowingly gave away. The wiser path is balance. Connect with others, but never let your emotional foundation rest on them. Care, but don't let your identity fuse with theirs. Keep a part of yourself unreachable, untouchable. Then no matter who stays or walks away, you remain intact. Here are the steps. Guard your life. Don't reveal everything you carry inside. Pay attention to how people handle small pieces of trust before offering them bigger ones. Build yourself, your discipline, your dignity, your ambitions, so you never need someone else to keep you stable. Trust should never be blind. It should be calculated. Offer it slowly, test it continually, and never place your whole spirit in another person's hands. Machiavelli understood the core of human behavior. People act for themselves before they act for anyone else. Forget this, and you'll face disappointment over and over. Repeat this affirmation: I choose my trust wisely, and I refuse to rely completely on anyone. Write it in the comments and let it sink into your mindset, because the less you lean on others, the less anyone can ever shatter you. And that is real unshakable power. Number 8. Every true empire begins from one throne, the throne within yourself. Power doesn't start with controlling others or shaping the world outside. It starts with taking command of your own mind, your own impulses, and your own inner storms. If you fail to govern your thoughts, emotions, and habits, you live as a captive, even when no one is holding you. Machiavelli hinted at this truth when he said that survival belongs to the one who adjusts himself to the times. For you, that means the strongest person isn't the one who growls, flexes, or pretends to be unshakable. Real strength belongs to the one who can shift, discipline, and control himself no matter what chaos surrounds him. Every day, the world will push your limits. People will provoke you, situations will frustrate you, and life will hit you where it hurts. If your foundation is weak, you will crumble at the first pressure. But if your mind is trained to remain centered, if your body can handle discomfort, and if your discipline remains firm, when others fall apart, you rise above everything. You don't only survive, you take command. Self-mastery forms itself through 3 pillars. The first is emotional control. Never let anger, envy, fear, or impulsive feelings dictate the path you walk. When emotions lead the way, clarity disappears. Imagine someone tries to humiliate you publicly. If you react with rage, you give them your power. If you meet their attack with silence and calm, you own the moment. Your restraint becomes your weapon. The second pillar is disciplined habits. Power does not come in a single day. It is forged through relentless practice. Waking up when you don't feel like it, completing tasks you'd rather avoid, sharpening your mind, strengthening your body. These daily choices create the foundation of your inner fortress. Weak men obey their impulses. Strong men make their impulses obey them. The third pillar is inner independence. Never let your emotional state depend on someone else's approval, affection, or recognition. When your peace comes from outside, you become fragile. Build your worth from within, so deeply that nobody can crack it. When you know your value, no voice or action can shake you. Understand this clearly. If you don't rule yourself, someone else will. A partner, a friend, a superior, even a stranger. Anyone can manipulate the one who lacks control. People sense vulnerability, and some will use it without hesitation. But once you master yourself, the entire game shifts. Others respect you because they cannot twist you. They admire you because you do not break. Imagine yourself as the sovereign of an inner kingdom. Your thoughts are your citizens. Your emotions are your soldiers, and your habits are the laws that hold your realm together. If your inner kingdom is in disorder, you cannot expect to command anything outside of you. But if your inner world is disciplined, organized and steady, nothing from the outside can dethrone you. You've seen the pattern. You've felt the truth of it. Power is not born from noise, theatrics, or chasing validation. It emerges from the mind you train, the emotions you manage, and the choices you make when only you are watching. Never forget, no one can wound you unless you open the door. No words can break you unless you let your emotions run wild. No betrayal can destroy you if your strength comes from within. Each act of discipline, each moment of emotional control, each step in self-awareness adds another stone to the fortress that shields your spirit. Life will always bring challenges. People will try to influence you, disappoint you, or draw you into their chaos. That is the nature of the world. But here is the difference. The untouchable man sees clearly, feels without being controlled, and acts without fear. He does not chase dominance. He embodies it. Machiavelli understood this power when he wrote that men fear disappointing the one who makes them hope more than the one who threatens them. People bow to inner strength, sharp perception, and unbroken self-control. When you stop giving others access to your emotions, when you refuse to hand out your peace for their approval, you rise above them all. Begin now. Commit fully to your own growth. Guard your emotions like treasure. Fortify your mind. Study human behavior, predict patterns, and act with precision. Construct your inner fortress with intention, because your life truly depends on the strength of that foundation. Speak your affirmation. Let it echo through your mind until it becomes your identity. I am stronger than my emotions. I see beyond illusions. I rule my inner world. Like, share, and spread this message if it gave you strength or clarity. Carry these lessons forward, because once you master yourself, the outside world loses its power over you forever. Walk away from this message untouchable, silent, calm, unbreakable. And remember, every legacy begins with mastering the self. Nothing and no one will ever shift that throne again.